Good morning, everyone. This is Charlotte, and we are chatting in cars. As a trigger warning, yes, I do swear. There is a notification at the start of this podcast telling you that I swear, so if you'd like to tune to something else, absolutely go and find something else to listen to. This is the podcast where I drive and talk about random crap that I pulled out of a plastic bag, hopefully not killing myself while I run over people in the street. I have half a tank of petrol, so hopefully I can get to work today. Although, God forbid, anything should happen where we actually raise the price of petrol yet again. Oh my God. Anyway, for those out there relying on the ability to access petrol, good luck. It sucks. I'm so sorry. Damn Putin. Anyway, the topic for today is mortgages, darling. Mortgages, yes. I miss having one. I miss the consistency of payments where, at the moment I'm renting, so it kind of sucks. It's not bad, but it's not good. I'm paying someone else's mortgage, essentially, which is a bit bullshit, because I'm paying, $470 a week. And when I was paying my mortgage, I was paying $330 a week. The only reason I actually got rid of my previous apartment is because it was attached to my ex-husband's name. And I got divorced and all that business. So, yeah. I mean, you're hardly going to want to keep him around. Sorry, this guy's taking fucking forever. You hate that when they stare at you. It's like a weird intersection. And they're like, you go. No, you go. No, you go. No, look, I need to turn right. Give way to the right. Now fucking go. Okay? This isn't... Anyway, pet peeves about driving. That's a whole different podcast. No, I miss paying my mortgage. I really do. I miss the consistency of it, because I knew I had a set payment, I had to make that. I've been living in this current apartment since April. It's now August, and already they've jacked up my rent, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? It was $470 in October, which is 6 months after I moved in. It's going to be $490 a week, so that's $40 rent increase. I never faced that kind of shit when I had a mortgage. Every 6 months it gets jacked up. It's like, no, dude, what the fuck? And I swear they're just doing it because they can. So they'll claim it's something to do with inflation or something like that, but generally it's just fucking greed. 6 months? No, I don't think so. They did tell me when I moved in, something like a month after I moved in, it's like, oh, we're getting the house refinanced. It's like, great. I signed a contract for $470 a week. Why the fuck are you jacking this up now? And that really pissed me off. I'm like, because I sent an email saying you can't do that, because I didn't see the date on which they were going to jack up the rent. It's in October sometime. I just saw that they were adding it on. I'm going, what the fuck? Because I signed a contract saying $470 a week for a year. Why am I now having to pay extra fucking rent? That's not the contract. You voided the contract by jacking that up. Apparently it's allowed. I'm going, what the fuck? If I'd have known that I would be paying extra money, I wouldn't have signed on to the fucking contract. It's like, it seems it should be illegal. It's like they lock you into this contract where you have to pay the rent, otherwise you get your credit score fucked with. Even though they're going to jack it up 6 months later. That seems like it should be illegal, because you're locked in. It doesn't make sense. I mean, this was not the agreed terms. Any other contract you sign, and this is a contract, at least you sign. It's a contract saying that you will pay this rent. It's like, that's not what I agreed to. I agreed to $470 a week for a year. That's it. So you can't just fuck around with it when you feel like it. I anticipate that by the end of this lease, so I have to sign my lease again in April if I decide to, that it's going to be jacked up another $40 minimum, up to $510 a week. And that's past my budget. So I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do. I want to buy another apartment, so my main thing right now is to save up for a deposit. I can go through an organization called Keystart, where they help low-income people get apartments. It's really good. I got my first apartment through them when we were that was in 2013. I'm hoping they're still around, quite frankly, because they're a great initiative. But they take, if you're on the dole or something like that, but you need an apartment, you want your first home, or if you got just a low income, they'll get you a low interest rate and they find the house. Well, they don't find the house for you, but they find a decent lender for you. Stuff like that. It's a great initiative. I love that. I would highly suggest making more of those kinds of businesses. We did really well there. They help you getting like your first home buyer's loan and stuff like that. They always give you advice and stuff like that. So I can't praise that business enough. I'm going to go through them again if I can. But when I was applying for that apartment, because my ex-husband he was his own business, so he was a liability. So hopefully, given that I'm, properly working as a teacher, I can actually apply for this house on my own terms and get a decent amount this time. I've done the maths on it because they do a generator where you can see how much you're allowed to borrow. They give you an estimate about how much, and I'm sitting there going, well, that's quite a decent amount. I'm going to go with that. Of course, obviously, it's subject to approval and things like that, but I'm hoping I can get my feet back onto solid ground with the apartment-wise, because I've been renting since April. I forgot how much I don't like the idea of other people coming in to tell me, what bills I'm going to be paying and stuff like that. It's like, just, no. I would prefer to pay a mortgage. That way, at least I know as well that I'm getting the money back. Whereas paying rent, you're just paying someone else's mortgage. You don't ever see that again. Whereas if you get an apartment or a house, I'm thinking I'm leaning towards a house, but yeah. At least you're reinvesting into your own property instead of paying someone else. So yeah, so anyway, I'm thinking about getting a house. Apartment would be more reasonable maintenance-wise, because it's only me living on my own. But at the same time, investment-wise, if you're looking at resale value, you want a house, 4-bedroom house if you can, because that's the first thing that sells. Apartments are harder to get rid of, particularly in suburbia, because you're looking at like dink couples, and there's not many of those in suburbia. So dink is double income, no kids, which is what I was when I bought my first apartment. We were double income, no kids. Well, I say double income. I was the main income, and he did boot camps for some fuck all amount each week. So I pretty much carried him. Anyway, I'm a teacher, so I had the better pay. Not a great pay for both of us to be provided for, but we got by, so it's pretty cool. But no, because he wasn't earning like a full-time proper job, he was a liability. So this time I'm hoping and praying I can get my decent credit score and, without him, and get my own apartment. And it would be so much easier paying a mortgage than waiting for someone to keep japping up the rent prices. That's ridiculous. And rent inspections as well give me the shits. Because it's someone else coming in telling you how, gross you are. Like, I already fucking know how gross I am, dude. Has anyone does everybody just panic clean the night before, or is it just me? It's like everybody's like, oh shit, rent inspection, bro. Panic clean, 8 o'clock at night, pissing off your neighbours with the Hoover. That's great. No, I'm not that gross. I'm not bad. I'm very tidy, actually. It's one of the traits of having mild OCD, actually. It's fun. My mental disorders are actually quite helpful. I don't know why they call them disorders. They've done nothing but help me. Even my depression was high functioning, it's like, it's really weird. They're like, oh, you got PTS, mild OCD, generalized anxiety, depression, autism. It was like, oh really, all this, I didn't even notice. Like uber productive individual, just because from trauma and shit. It's hilarious. So I'm a mild OCD. You should see me at the gym. I'm mental. I'm organising my kit on the floor. It's like I've got my tissues, I've got my drink bowl, little book out, phone aligned, everything squared off and cornered off. I look like a nutcase. I'm wiping shit like I'm wiping for prints. It's insane. No wonder the boys don't want to talk to me at the gym. It's like, she's a crazy bitch. I was like, yes. And look how clean I can get this close grip. It's crazy. Nah. I get a bit anal with it though. I do get pissed off when people don't wipe shit down at the gym. That really gets up my arse. I'm going, we're in the middle of a pandemic, you're not wiping shit. Not only that, but you're touching everything else, and you're doing circuits during peak training time, you bastard. It's essential equipment hoarding. I bet they are toilet paper hoarders, really. It's like, you fuckers were part of the crew that hoarded all the toilet paper so no one could get any. I bet. And now you're just transferring it to circuits. Circuit training is where you take like various pieces of equipment, and for some reason you need to isolate it from everyone else, and no one else is allowed to fucking use it. And even though someone's like, I need that because I've done my one thing, I need to go on to the next thing. They'll be like, no, I'm using it. I'm like, no, you fucking aren't. You've got one set of arms and you got 4 fucking areas of equipment. Fuck you. I'm taking it. And I've noticed that. If you passive aggressively take their shit, they can't say shit. And if they try to say shit, you tell them to fuck off. I was very nice when I started the gym. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll go and find something else. But when it's a packed gym and they're fucking hoarding equipment, I'm like, no, fuck you, dude. Give me that. You become very assertive going to the gym. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. That's a different podcast. I will be talking about that because there are a lot of gym etiquette things that piss me off that people aren't doing. But yeah, anyway. So it's Monday again. I've got a rent inspection on Wednesday, which I'm not fucking happy about. I don't like people coming and telling me how to clean. I also don't like people in my house, man. I would be weird. If you had like cleaners and stuff come in, I'd still feel fucking weird about that. It's like my ex-boyfriend used to have a cleaner come in once a week, and I'd be like, dude, what about your shit? She's touching everything. Or he. I would assume it's a she. I don't know why. Are there boy cleaners? That sounds horrible, doesn't it? Of course there's boy cleaners. And when I mean boy, I mean, biological boy, not social boy. But wouldn't you feel weird, some random fucking stranger coming in and touching your shit and then leaving? And you've given them a key? It's like the severe security breaches there. I would really feel horrible about that. It's like, I don't know you. Somehow you've got access to all my shit. Get out. I've been robbed before. I have been robbed before, actually. It was not pleasant. But having said that, I learned how people break into your house. So, yay. You learn something new every day. I miss my mortgage. The first thing I did with my old apartment is, because it was in a fairly, risky area, first thing I did was put on security shutters. I am super excited. I know, it's the weirdest things make me excited. I'm going to secure my perimeter first. It's going to be awesome. And then we go to make sure the basic structure is there. I've already got this all planned out, mapped out. It's like, even if I buy like a shitty apartment, I'm going to do it up. I'm so looking forward to it. I love projects like this. It's like, I've renovated my previous apartment twice. First time because we first got it and it was a shithole. The second time is because my ex-husband trashed it on his way out and I had to do it again before we had to resell it. I fucking love that shit. I really do. I'm seeing it as a project. I've laid the flooring twice on an apartment. I've done the walls, like painted all through, redone the bathroom and stuff myself. All this kind of shit I fucking love doing. I don't know why. It's like an extension of craftiness, because you only, not craftiness as in, but craft, like, because I've always been doing craft projects of some kind, but this is like a big, huge thing that you only get to do like once every now and again, and I get super excited about it. So, it's weird. It's like, don't you hate doing it? No, actually, I really like it, which makes me wonder if I would be good at flipping houses. I don't know. I think I could. I mean, the problem would be trying to sell the bastards again. And getting the funding and everything for that. But the actual process of doing it, I think I'd have fun with it. Weird. Anyway, that was my plan like years ago. Buy them cheap, do them up, sell them on. That was my plan years ago. I'm thinking about doing it now, actually, if I can get, my money in line. That's what we did with the apartment, though. Although we sold it for a loss because the economy was just shit and we needed to get rid of it. Plus, he was like somewhere north of the river doing fuck knows what with fuck knows who. So I just wanted him out of my life, so we sold the apartment for a loss. It wasn't really a loss, we broke even, to be honest. We bought it for $230. We paid off the majority of the mortgage. Not the majority, a large chunk of the mortgage, to the extent where we could sell it for the amount at which the mortgage was. And we broke even. So essentially I was still paying rent for God knows, for like since 2013 to 2018, 19? I think it was something like that. Oh no, 2020. Or something like that. So, yeah, anyway. There was bad juju there, man. That was meant to be our love nest, our foot in the door to get in a property. And we were working out from there, but, he didn't want to work and I was carrying us, so it was not good from the start. So I was kind of glad. I was always worried that he wasn't going to make his half of the rent after we separated. I say rent, mortgage. So I'm like, I know he doesn't work properly, and I don't know where he is or what he's doing or whether he's actually keeping up with his side of the job. I know I had a solid job, and I was the responsible one in the relationship. So I'm like, I got to get rid of this house fast because he is a liability. In fact, I wasn't sure if he was going to actually pay his half of the mortgage. I'm going, please fucking pay the mortgage. I don't want your name on my fucking credit score. So I was super excited when it sold. Because if you feel like you're starting from scratch, you're like, fucking yes, okay, this asshole's gone. I can actually do this properly, knowing now I've got experience with this. Nah, he was a proper prick. Oh, Peter Pan syndrome. Totally. Wanted all the nice things, didn't want to work for it. That I will never have another one of them. I will never. I mean, I nearly got one with my ex-boyfriend, but fuck that. Ugh. You are constantly wiping their ass. Constantly. It's annoying. Anyway. Because you're double putting the work in. So, anyway, yes. Alright. I'm trying to decide whether I want an apartment or a house. As I said, 4-bedroom house in the burbs is the same price as you would pay for as an apartment where I currently live. I was looking at prices of apartments where I currently live. They're about $500,000 for a... What am I in now? 2-bedroom apartment. I've got a 1-bedroom apartment, so I'm renting. So if I stay in the area, I'm going to need about 400,000. If I take that money and go to the suburbs, I can get a 4-bedroom house. I mean, it's not where I live, and I don't know if it's as safe as I would like. Safety is the main priority at this point because I've already had a whole load of shit happen to me. I'm just like, you know what? I just want a secure premise at this point. It doesn't have to be fucking huge. It doesn't have to be fancy. Give me the basic necessities with a secure perimeter. That's what I'm happy about. I mean, in the area, they've got like mansions and shit where I am. I say mansions, I'm like, big fucking houses. Beyond reasonable, you know, it's like, why do you need a house that big, really? Even if you got like 20 kids, why do you need a house that big? It seems just beyond reasonable spending to have a house that big to me. My brother's house is huge compared to what I would get. He's only got, I think, 4 bedrooms, but it's quite a big open living one. And it's just, I'm looking at this going, well, this is going to be a fucking nightmare to clean and maintain. And he's finding it is, but he wanted that kind of lifestyle. And all his pay goes on it, so it sucks. So he never gets to do anything outside of just paying the mortgage and shit. I'm going, why did you buy this fucking house? You don't need it. At the moment, he's got him and his daughter. He's got another one on the way, hopefully. God willing. Because, you know, I don't like the idea of not seeing shit out like that. Having lost 2 myself. But 2 kids, and he said he's going to draw the line there. 2 kids and 2 adults. But that's a big house to have just 2 kids. I mean, my parents had a 4-bedroom house. It was a bungalow, essentially. It was 3 bedrooms. And we shared 4 kids. So 6 people in this tiny, you know, 3-bedroom house. 2-bedroom house? 3-bedroom house. And I top and tailed with my sister near enough for like the majority of my life. My younger sister. So we shared everything. It was a pain in the ass. I hated it, quite frankly, because when you start developing your own identity and you want your own shit and space, and this little kid is fucking pissing you off, you can't go anywhere. I mean, there's only 2 years difference between us, but fucking hell, it's a big jump. It's like when one of you's a teenager and the other is just an annoying little shit. You're like, I need space. Get out of my fucking face. And she's an extrovert and I'm an introvert, so it's just, it was annoying as hell. I'm just, leave me the fuck alone. My older brother and sister, there's 5 years between my older brother and me. Although I was always his pet, so he's my guy. I love my brother. My sisters can fuck off. No, they're alright. I just don't have that connection with them. I was raised a guy, so not that I am a guy or biologically, I was just a tomboy, so you know, before we started having debates about what gender is, I was just a tomboy, and everyone, oh, she's just a tomboy, it's cool. No one has a problem with anyone being a tomboy. As soon as you say, I'm a male in gender, they start cracking the shits. It's like, what? It means the same damn thing. Not that I recognize gender anyway these days, because it's fucking ridiculously grey area. No one's doing the right things to be considering it a label. This is a weird tangent. But no, I mean, we never shared rooms like cross-sex. I was never sharing a room with my brother because obviously I'm a girl and we have different biological needs apparently. And also my parents were big on like decency. So it's like, you know, girls don't share with boys. You know, blood related or not, you don't, because it's your sister and she needs her space and all that crap. Plus Joe stunk. Hormones. It's like, ugh. I used to love it when he did wargaming because it would smell like brute. And you have all his mates around. He used to do the Warhammer 40k or whatever like that in the back shed. And it would stink of brute. Like you'd be trying to cover up these hormonal armpit smells and just, it would be rank with brute. I love that smell. I don't know why. I was such a fucking follower as a kid. Like I idolized that guy. Anyway. Mortgages, gee gads. Alright, do I want a big garden? I don't know. It sounds like a lot of maintenance, but at the same time, I'm like, it does add value to the property. So, I don't want anything like a pool or something like that. I've been watching my brother. He's got a pool at his house. I'm like, this is a fucking nightmare. He made me look after his pool. He didn't make me, I often, because he's awesome. But I looked after this pool and it went green, like traffic light green. And I kept sticking the pool stuff and going, it's not working. I can't make it go clear again. Fucking nightmare. And he's like, don't worry. When I get back, I'll just drain it and start again. And I'm like, I've spent so much money on this fucking pool stuff. I can't get it to go clear again. So as far as I'm concerned, that is just a fucking nightmare. Everyone, when we were growing up, was like, oh yeah, so-and-so's got a pool and shit like that. Because we're in a broke area. It's like anyone who's got like, ooh, a pool has got, oh, you got money. I mean, bear in mind, these people like dug it out themselves, lined it themselves with like their own fucking concrete and shit like that. My friend Andrew had a pool and he was like the guy to go to. But he's cool as a dude. He's not a popular dude, or wasn't. But it's just, yeah, it's kind of cool that he had this. It does add value to the property, but at the same time, it's a fucking nightmare to maintain, so I'm just ditching that idea. Same as like elaborate gardens. I want to avoid that. When I had an apartment, it was a strata complex, so all I had to do was make sure my balcony was clean. There was a garden, but there was a maintenance guy for it, so that was pretty cool. It's like, you want to go do some weeding? Not really, but we got a rent inspection. Fuck. No, not really. Also have some kind of weird trauma from my like childhood where mum used to make us get out into the garden and pull couch grass, which is essentially the grass equivalent of razor wire. You ever seen couch grass? It grows everywhere in Australia. It is horrible and it rips the joints of your fingers out. And she would be like, this is what you need to do this weekend. I'm going, fuck, I don't want to do it. So whilst I like the idea of growing plants and stuff like that, because of the way I was raised, my parents made me not like particular types of gardening. And there was no gloves or anything. It was just like, you'll be alright, just get out the 40-degree heat. Come pull some couch grass. You asshole, this is just neglect. Neglect and torture. But no. It's a lot of maintenance, plus if I've got the spare time, I prefer to work on my businesses, so I prefer to. It's easy stuff. Like, I got a pretty decent order for one of my businesses. I got online stuff where I sell stuff, but I got a decent order overnight, actually, because I listed some more stuff. And then, you know, straight off the bat, someone's like, I want 10 of these. I'm like, fuck off. So I'm pretty chuffed about that. So I'd rather be working on that as a secondary income rather than just, you know, sitting out in the garden and ripping up couch grass and making my hands bleed. I mean, I know when my parents bought their hobby farm, which is falling apart terribly because they're in their late 60s and they don't want to do the work. They have these great ideas and then they don't want any, you know, they want you to do them. It's like, well, wait a minute. I didn't sign up for a fucking hobby farm. Otherwise, I'd be reaping the benefits of the hobby farm. But yeah, but it's falling apart. But I used to go there and I used to cut the grass and I planted their orchard for them and I helped with the fencing and I put together some raised garden beds made of pallets you can get from like shipping companies. You know, like a proper big wooden pallets. That was a fucking nightmare. Put together chicken stuff, chicken pen. I bought them all like they're animals. but they killed them. So I stopped wanting to help them after that. I bought them like a dozen chickens, and they worked for a while. And I bought them like 4 sheep, the kind of sheep where the fur comes off. I say fur, wool comes off on the fence, and you collect the fur and you make it into stuff. So they didn't even have to shave the bloody things. They just, have to go along and collect it or whatever. But yeah, 2 of the sheep died. All the chickens either died or got eaten by a fox. And the other 2 sheep, they gave away. And all the orchard died because they didn't want to look after it properly. Yeah, it was just, they have these big ideas and they don't want to do them properly. So while you're sitting there willing to go and help them, and it's essentially free labor, I was just not, they're like, thanks for coming down and helping. It's like, are you going to help? Yeah. They're cutting the grass, huge garden. It was like a ride-on mower, which I thought was fun. I used to go side saddle on it. They'd be like, I'm riding a horse. But that was pretty chill, except they do it in like 40-degree heat. Not cool. In the sun, and you're cutting grass, and you're like, I don't like this. So I wouldn't have a garden with huge like lawn or anything like that. Plus it's ridiculous water-wise. It's not water safe at all. Basically I just want an apartment or a house where I know the electrics are good, the plumbing's good. Once that's good, I can work with whatever else is in there. I can't do the plumbing and electric myself. That's basically what I want. And I want to pay a mortgage again. I don't want to keep renting. This is ridiculous. I didn't have any problems with my mortgage. We didn't see any real jack-up rates. Well, I had one, and I had one from 2013 to 2020. 20 or 21, I can't remember. I sold the house. So it was a decent amount. I mean, I don't know if that was going through Keystar or if it was just we were lucky in that we didn't have rates hike. Everyone keeps on the news I'm watching, and everyone's getting pissed off because we got the interest rate hikes. I've got a very low value property mortgage, and you guys are paying some crazy ass price, but I didn't really see a difference. And maybe it went up like $10 or something like that, something ridiculous. It wasn't. I mean, I paid more with the rent. I mean, I went in 6 months. It went up $40 a fucking fortnight. I'm going, how? That's more than I saw paying a mortgage. So, I don't know. I'd be happy with a mortgage. It seems more stable financially. Plus, I miss having a nest. I felt definitely more stable having a nest. And I'm getting, weirdly clucky at my old age. Not that I want kids, but I just want, somewhere soft and stable. I mean, I've never really had stability, but I really want like a proper house, a home. I tried to have one when I was married. It didn't work because I chose an asshole to do it with. And I tried to move in with my ex-boyfriend, and he was just an asshole as well, so I couldn't even attempt to build a home with him. So, yeah, I miss the stability. I'm pretty much a homebody, so I'm looking forward to getting a mortgage. And I'm a worker, so I don't mind paying it off. And I've got a pretty solid job as a teacher, which is always available. It's not like it's seasonal work or anything. So I'm looking forward to getting that done. If you guys have any kind of thoughts or anything on, like, problems associated with having a mortgage, please do tell me, because I haven't found any really. So I'd prefer, comparing mortgages to renting. It feels intrusive to rent, to be honest. But I did rent before 2013, so. I'm going to have to leave it there because I've just turned up to work. I've still got the flu. So I have to work regardless. Currently watching one of the Cleaners Clean Glass that will last for about 10 minutes until the kids turn up. So yeah, thing to take away from this. I didn't have a problem with mortgages. I found them to be more stable than renting. At any point I can get evicted, which is really, I don't like the idea of. And we did, my voice is going because it's Monday. That's what happened last time. I think I was living in my old apartment with my ex-boyfriend for about 6 months or something like that, and then we suddenly got evicted. He wasn't going to tell me, because we had some annoying twice or some shit like that. He was being pessy for months and weeks. He was giving me the silent treatment. So I wouldn't have found out that I was getting evicted if I didn't have a gut feeling and actually go after him first and discuss it. I'm going, something doesn't feel right. It's something to do with the house. But yeah, he was that level of petty that he would have, he would rather see me homeless than actually, break the silent treatment. He's a piece of shit. Anyway, so I wouldn't have known about the eviction. I don't like that uncertainty. That's a real huge thing for me. It's like if I own the house, or at least I'm paying for the house with a mortgage, then I know when it's time to leave or sell or whatever. Given that my job is stable in that there's always going to be teaching work, I don't think I'd have a problem with facing like unemployment or something like that, unless I got like, really sick or something. Because I still work sick. Like I'm talking like you lose a fucking leg or something and need to go into rehab for something, I still work with the flu. I don't have a choice. So if you've got any ideas about what could be issues with mortgages besides, potentially facing unemployment, or like what are the benefits of renting besides the fact that you can just get up and leave when you don't like the area, I've found that to be useful. So that's my goals. Anyway, it's Monday. I'm going to do another podcast on the way home, hopefully, or something like that. I'm behind one. Have a great day. It's like I've got 5 more weeks of work myself until the holidays. 2 weeks unpaid. We can barrel through this. We got this together. Don't let anyone piss you off today. Take it easy. If you're working and you're sick, take it easier. Cut your losses, really. And just manage where you can. Most of us are working in conditions that are stressful. The last thing you need to do is make it worse by overthinking and overfeeling and stressing about shit. Okay, I'll have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow or this afternoon when I do my next podcast. Okay, take it easy.